What is the impact that Mario Kart 8 has had on your life? What are some things that you enjoy about it? Maybe some things that you don't enjoy about it? Asks Sveno via Patreon. I know you said Mario Kart 8 specifically, but I feel like we gotta go back a little bit for it to make the most sense. Mario Kart in general has been a series that has helped me make friends with a lot of people in the past, even when I was fairly young, playing Mario Kart 64 and then Double Dash. That was always a game that helped everyone kind of, for the most part, get along, and nobody really cared who was winning or losing. That's kind of the beauty of it. When you start playing it and you're not like insanely good at it, you kind of just know that you're signing up for a whole bunch of nonsense to potentially happen. Sometimes you have races that are somewhat uninterrupted, but for the most part, you know something silly is probably gonna happen. I've played Mario Kart with my mom, tons of friends when I was younger, partners. I've played it with random people online. I've played it with people that I have then gotten to know pretty well that I've played with online. I've played it at like a barcade with somewhat strangers. It just kind of is the type of game that can be enjoyed by anybody, and I really love it for that. But then at the same time, I've also played so much of it that I've gotten pretty good at it, and you can see like the different levels and stages that people go through in terms of their ability at Mario Kart. Mario Kart 8 specifically has become a game that I actually enjoy helping other people learn, because it is way more complicated than it looks at first. And when you're watching somebody that knows what they're doing play the game, if you have a decent enough knowledge of the game, you will pick up on these things and be like, wait, how are they doing that? What was that? That's a crazy shortcut. How did they do that without an item, etc., etc. And I think they've kind of mastered kart racers. They've gotten almost progressively better every single time that they made one, with a few deviations. But for the most part, Mario Kart 8 feels pretty much perfect to me. Now, you asked if there's anything that I don't like, and I'm gonna say, after going back through all of the games and playing all of them again, I did this to rank all of the tracks on a tier list. You can find that in the Discord if you want to go see that. I already knew this, but it kind of just reminded me of the fact that over time, they've overly complicated a lot of the tracks, especially visually, to like make them seem more interesting. But really, to me still, the best tracks are the ones from the Super Nintendo and the Game Boy Advance. Now, not in those games themselves necessarily, because they're a little bit rough to go back to, especially Super Mario Kart. I actually think Super Circuit is quite amazing. But the remade tracks of Super Mario Kart and Super Circuit in Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart 8, to me, are the best in the series. And a lot of the newer tracks in Wii, 7, honestly, even in Double Dash, they were starting to play this up. And then of course in Mario Kart 8, I think that's where they struggled with adding spectacle instead of keeping things simple and making fun tracks to race on. Instead, it's like about looking around you to distract you from the fact that the track that you're on is not very interesting.